Shalom everyone, it's Mercenary 3 here. Let's hit it. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I'm gonna go ahead and maybe just leave this area. Look, these guys through eating those damn daddies. So what the fuck you gonna do to me? That was stupidly easy. Then I'm gonna try going over here. Blazebone. On the road, bare bones on display, flesh rotted, decayed, faded away. Long gone, forgotten in name, his homeland lost and death's claim. And the land of Yellow Wind Ridge, where relentless winds rage day and night, the tomb mounds were often ravaged by the mighty gusts, revealing the exposed bones, a sight all too familiar. One day, a hurried merchant found himself passing through Yellow Wind Ridge on an urgent matter. However, the villagers warned him of a terrible danger and refused to be his guide. After walking alone for hours, the merchant rested by the roadside. Eating his rations, it was then he noticed a set of skeletal remains over the grass. The bones were incomplete due to greedy vultures and wolves. Were you slain by bandits lying here in this desolate place, or like me, did you find no joy in life and chose to end it yourself? Oh, well and sorrow, the merchant sighed as he looked upon the skull and wondered aloud. You now lie uncovered in the wilderness, and I can only imagine the sorrow your family must feel. Moved by compassion, he untied his bundle, weeping as he began to dig a grave to bury the remains. Suddenly, the skeleton sat up, startling the merchant, who fell to the ground and scrambled backwards in fear. Using bony hands to support itself, the skeleton approached the merchant and pushed the bundle towards him. Astonished, the merchant cautiously accepted the bundle and resumed his journey. The skeleton followed him from a distance, and together they traveled peacefully for hours. Gradually, the merchant let his guard down and removed his inner shirt to drape it over the skeleton's frame. From that moment on, whenever strange noise arose, the skeleton would guide the merchant to take cover behind rocks. With furtive glances, the merchant would then witness guides passing by the path. For several days, they continued on this way until the merchant finally reached the main road again. That was the moment the skeleton ceased to move. Grateful for its companionship, the merchant offered to transport the skeleton's remains back to its home. However, after a moment hesitation, skeleton turned and walked back into the swirling sands of the ridge. Perhaps they had already forgotten where he came from. Interesting. Kind of sweet, but strange nonetheless. First prince of the flowing sands. Though hairless, strength prevails, sturdy and bold, never frail. Madness hides in mountain, where winds sing in dark gutters, rains as king. The yellow-furred rat had quelled the calamity caused by Fubon, earning the king's deep respect and being appointed as the royal sage. No matter the state affairs of the minutiae or whatever of daily life, the king would first seek his counsel. At the sage's suggestion, the king issued the Rodent Reverence Edict, prompting rodent guides from all around to migrate into the city. The first prince, having distinguished himself in battle, was conferred the title of brave general and was basking in his success. However, he was deeply displeased that a Gwai sage had stolen his shine. Using the pretext of the rodent guides causing trouble, he rallied court officials to petition for the royal sage's removal. Several upheavals ensued in the court, resulting in the deaths of many loyal to the prince, and even the third prince left in anger. Yet the king's trust in the sage remained unshaken. On the sage's birthday, the entire kingdom worshipped his statue, and even the king paid a visit to the temple of royal sage himself to offer incense and prayers. Unable to contain his fury, the first prince overturned the incense table in public. Such an affront to royal authority could not be tolerated. Enraged, the king imprisoned the prince. The sage, however, was not angered and even spoke many good words for the fine general. Learning of the sage's intercession, the prince became even more convinced that he was a deeply scheming evil Gwai, scourging him incessantly in his cell. The king, upon hearing this, grew more antagonized by his unruly son. Hence, he decreed that the prince needed strict discipline, ordering that his meals be delivered to the cell door thrice daily with no visitors allowed. The prince was very stubborn, but over time he saw him begin to plead for mercy. Yet he remained defiant in his heart, constantly plotting to kill the rodents and avenge himself once he was free. One day his meal was late and he was growing anxious. Then he heard the sound of a key turning in the cell door unexpectedly open. After waiting for a while and seeing no one enter, he walked out himself. To his astonishment, the guards and officials bustling about outside were no longer human. They all became rats dressed in robes. The prince thought it was that the sage had led the rodent guides to usurp the throne, and in his panic he charged into his father's golden hall. A short, stout rout, speaking in his father's voice, called out to him, "This must be an impostor." The prince grabbed a guard sword and struck at the king. He also ripped the hall, only the royal sage brought forth a bronze mirror for the prince to see himself. And in that reflection, there was no trace of the brave gentleman, only an enormously fat rat. That is what the fuck, man.
Cheers! See to it. Age enriches the brew, and the two both cloud our mind. Drink. It can lead to success.
Pitstone. The mystic arts breathes life into stone. A servant bestowed, but caution be shown. A nature fierce rewards provocation. For crossing its path brings fatal devastation. Once upon a time, there lived a pretentious scholar who took great pride in the paperweight he collected. Whenever his guests commented that it was merely an ordinary stone with no notable features, the scholar would respond by sharing a peculiar tale. During his adventurous youth, the scholar embarked on a treacherous journey. Exhausted and seeking respite, he leaned against a massive stone for a snooze. Suddenly, he felt the stone come alive. Skeletons emerged from its crevice. The stone sprouted limbs, resembling a grotesque creature. Terrified, the scholar ran for his life until he stumbled upon a desolate valley, where he noticed a gaunt monk meditating atop a boulder. Struck by the peculiar sight, he contemplated fleeing once more. Yet, to his astonishment, he sensed the relentless pursuit of the stone creature from behind. As he stood on the verge of being crushed, the very boulder beneath the monk unexpectedly rose, revealing two mighty arms that pummeled and shattered the creature. Amidst this terrifying clash, the scholar barely managed to escape, and the paperweight he claimed, and the paperweight as he claimed was a remnant of that cataclysmic fight. The guests erupted into laughter upon hearing the tale, mocking the scholar for spicing up his wild dream to impress him. The scorned scholar, though indignant, began to doubt the truth of his tale himself and lost interest in the paperweight. Eventually, he banished it to a forgotten corner, never to be shown again. You know what really interests me is the fact that how do people get turned to rats? Something they get turned to guys and shit. You know, the fuck was that? Spearbone. In a world where paths are never clear, where directions are oft lost in fear, in the spear tip a mighty and noble strand behind a shield, a pride so grand. The priestess of Windrest were proud warriors. Their shields were emblazoned with the tiger, and they danced with crescent-shaped spears, commanding a presence that frightened off Guais. During funerals, they would lead a procession, striking their shields and proclaiming themselves as leading generals. The priests held a high status in Windrest, even the minor guides in the mountain would frequently offer them rare delicacies, hoping to ensure their peace and to avoid being banished. One day, a settler noticed an increase in the mountain guides' population and sought the advice of the sorcerers. Dismissive, the priest responded, "The guides and us, we inhabit the same mountains. We encounter would be inevitable. Since they present us with tributes, we might as well spare them." A few years later, strange winds began to sweep across the valley, stirring up chaos. The guys ran wild, causing trouble frequently. Dressed in their warrior attire, the priests raised their shields and ventured out of the settlement to confront the unruly guys. However, the guys didn't fear them. The priests' spears and shields, which were once their pride, could only repel a few minor ones before they were surrounded. The leader, a red-robed rat, sneered, "We had peace only because of the Bodhis, uh, Bodhisattva meditating up in these mountains. You mortals surely didn't think you could actually defeat us, did you?" Seeing the priests unable to repel the Guais and instead provoking their anger, the settlers locked the gate of Windrest, demanding that the Guais be expelled before they could return. The priests met their end on the mountains, remaining in their battle stances, now haunted, now haunting unwary travelers. Oh shit! Yep, yeah, I'll do it. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Apparently, this area right here is optional, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways. Pale stone, mighty and strong, its presence grand with secret cords like shimmering sand, chosen for the righteous, a sacred embrace, nature's justice reflected in its grace. In a small kingdom west of the Black Wind Mountain, the aging king lived in constant fear of his dwindling lifespan. Desperate to find the elixir of longevity, he embarked on a frantic search for a solution. One day, an immortalist informed the king that consuming quartz could extend his life and bestow eternal youth. Upon hearing this, the king immediately issued a royal decree commanding his subjects to scour the lands in search of quartz. Eager to claim their reward, stone miners ventured deep into the desolate Yellow Wind Ridge, where they came across a stone being with an enormous head adorned with a brilliant white mineral quartz. News of the discovery reached the king, who promptly dispatched his crown prince with an army to collect the precious quartz. Little did they know that as they ventured to the ridge, they could be enveloped by the swirling dust and relentless yellow winds. Cunning and treacherous, the stone beings lurked beneath the earth, lying in wait. Whenever someone approached, they would swarm out in coordinated ambush, and sharing their unsuspecting prey from both sides, and snaring their unsuspecting prey from both sides. The army suffered heavy casualties before obtaining even a trace of the coveted quartz. In a state of desperation, the minister was dispatched to the capital, bearing a plea of withdrawal that detailed the perilous expedition and the dreadful calamities befalling the men. However, the aged king remained steadfast in his resolve, insisted on obtaining a substantial amount of quartz. Eventually, the crown prince returned with the coveted quartz in an army halved and requested to present the precious mineral to his father in the royal chamber. Seizing the opportunity, he intended a coup and plunged a knife into the king's heart, leaving him to die, holding his cherished quartz of longevity on his bed. Damn. Okay, wow. I'm gonna be strong.
Oi, lad, come here, wake up.
Yeah, I pretty much stream daily. Don't pay me. That's all you see me. Come on, lovely girl. And he killed himself. Fuck you, man. I'm gonna kill y'all, man. I'm gonna kill y'all, bitches. Poised on agile and extraordinary, with strength untold, delicate in form, light as a feather's hold, pure beauty, untouched by mortal's trace, proud as a frost-kissed maiden's grace. Before obtaining the stone essence, the mother of stones was originally on blue quartz in the shape of a woman. The blue quartz had a unique ability to absorb the essence of the moon. Through ages of absorption, she attained enlightenment earlier than other stone guais and was honored as a mountain deity. When the Buddha head stone guai appeared, the other stone guais convened and decided to expel the guai from the mountain. They sought the help of the Mother of Stones. However, she refused, fearing the possibility of her blue quartz to be shattered in battle. Yet one day the battle, seeing that the stone guys were on the verge of defeat, she could no longer bear to stand by and decided to join the fight. Though she the pale stones launching their quartz-like barrage of arrows to sneak attack the Buddha head guai, she imitated their action despite her deep attachment to her precious quartz. Despite their best efforts, they were still losing. When her blue quartz was shattered by a punch, the Mother of Stones fell to the ground in despair. Unexpectedly, a yellow-furred leading a group of Yaguais came to her aid. Seeing her grievance, the rat persuaded, what is broken is destined not to return. What is broken is destined not to return. If we let the Guai escape, wouldn't it be an even greater loss? Hearing this, the Mother of Stones regained her strength and rose up. Together they subdued the Buddha-head stone Guai. As compensation for her loss, the yellow-furred rat gave her the stone essence. With essence of style, the Mother of Guai gained great powers. Yet, as her form grew less mobile, she crafted poised stones from blue quartz, reflections of her former self to watch over the mountains and its happenings. Perhaps she did this to glimpse what she once was, what she could never return.
Some bastard has got me trapped in this rock with his spell. Even the rocks on the ridge have come to life. In that cave, there's a rock guai lurking, holding secrets, I bet. Should you uncover the reason, I shall find my way out. Rocks turning into guais, 'tis no small matter. In that cave, there's a rock guai lurking, holding secrets, I bet. Should you uncover the reason, I shall find my way out. Rocks turning into guai. In that cave, there's a rock guai lurking.
Sorry, guys, got called about a bullshit job opportunity. shit was tough. The fuck was that? We might need to check deeper into the cave and see, but I'm gonna rest for now. I hope I get a different one soon. Slum guy, okay. So it's all, oh shit, I forgot to self-advance for I say dinner and peace out. But, let's see. Which is not bad. Our sorry for some guys. We're on 3 out. Peace with you. See you later. Bye bye.